to Hire for Impact, I was just a regular final year student studying political science and archaeology. My day-to-day was filled with project works, group works, and assignments. And also something I did then was take a lot of professional courses such as data analytics and project management. I knew I wanted more out of my life, but I didn't have a clear-cut path forward, so I was just trying my best to put myself in a place of advantage while successfully completing my degree. While searching for opportunities, I came across the Hire for Impact post on social media. And what stood out to me about the Hire for Impact in comparison to other opportunities I had seen was that it promised global experience for young talents and real-world industry experience. And as someone in their final year who was yet to graduate and didn't have a clear way forward, this stood out to me like this was the chance I've always been looking for. So I did not hesitate to apply for the Hire for Impact. When I found out I was working with an international organization, I felt so much excitement in the moment, but then naturally it came accompanied with nerves because it is an international organization far from my home setting. Do I have what it takes? What are the expectations of me? And how would collaboration between me and them look like? So I had my initial worries, but I did not let that stop me for a minute. First few weeks were all about staying flexible and open-minded. So we were shown what our responsibilities were, what success looked like to us, and our metrics for productivity. We were also shown the tools that they used for working, such as Slack and Zoom. In all that time, I was still adjusting to the different time zones and working remotely. And it was a huge adjustment that had to be made, but you just have to keep your mind open and tell yourself that you are willing to learn. So that was what the first week was all about, grit and determination. I was responsible for onboarding and training new recruits. One thing I am still so proud of was that I was able to come up with an AI-powered recruitment system. With this, all roles available were inputted into the AI. So we had roles such as social media management, internet research, and data analysis. So each recruit was slotted into one of these roles. If they have applied for data analysis, they will be slotted into the data analysis group. And for each group, I had prepared training materials, videos, and resources that helped me to train them. For each person, the gaps between what they knew and what they would be doing was identified, and I trained them directly for that. This helped me to train up to 10 people at the same time for the same role, instead of individually going through all their files and CVs and interviews to see which capacity they were lacking in and which capacity they would be serving in. Through the Hire for Impact program, I've been able to acquire several new skills. One of such is remote team collaboration. Working remotely means you cannot access your team members in person, meaning that communication is largely dependent on emails, phone calls, and productivity tools. The ability to know when to call because of different time zones has been acquired. I can now say that I can collaborate with teams regardless of the time and regardless of the space. Another skill I've been able to acquire through the Hire for Impact program is the use of AI for productivity. And first, I used AI just for picture generation, grammar, and rephrasing text. Now I know how to use AI as a powerful tool to be twice productive and work twice as fast. With the example I had given prior to the AI-powered system I had set up for recruitment and onboarding. Also, I've been able to learn how to use technical skills for productivity such as Monday and Slack. With these tools, we're able to collaborate with our teams and see the progress on projects, if we met any roadblocks, and collaborate on how to complete an assignment successfully. Hire for Impact program has changed my worldview on what is possible and impossible. I went from being a final year student with a bleak future outlook to someone who believes everything is possible. It has given me the opportunity to sharpen my industry skills, to boost my confidence, and to make me know that I can succeed in global roles. It has given me exposure and real industry experience that is invaluable to any African talent. So, to employers out there, do not hesitate to invest in young African talent. We have what it takes to learn, to grow, and to thrive in global roles. We are motivated and willing to commit the best to the success of your organization. And to my fellow young African talent out there, working in a global role takes a lot of courage and resilience. It takes the ability to learn and unlearn and staying self-motivated. I believe you and I have the capacity to excel in whichever role we find ourselves in. So do not hesitate to apply for the Hire for Impact program now.